Hello friends, you must have heard about e-invoicing in GST, but do you know how it actually works? In today's video, let us understand what is e-invoicing, what are its components, exclusion, how it works and what happens if you do not comply with the process. So without any further delay, let's get started. Segment 1. What is e-invoicing? E-invoicing under GST is essentially the electronic authentication of the invoices. Now, this does not mean that government generates your invoice. Only you generate your invoice in your ERP or accounting software. After generating your invoice, you upload the invoice in Invoice Registration Portal or IRP. That's what makes the invoice legally recognized under GST. It is a safeguard against fake invoice and ensures transparency in the system. After uploading the invoice to the IRP generates a unique IRN, that is Invoice Reference Number, and a QR code. That's what makes the invoice legally recognized under GST. It is a safeguard against fake invoice and ensures transparency in the system. Segment 2. Applicability of e-invoicing. Now, the next big question arises. Who needs to follow this? And the answer is very simple. The rule is linked to turnover. If your business turnover is more than Rs 5 crore, the e-invoicing is mandatory for you. This threshold was actually reduced in August 2023, which brought many small and mid-sized firms into the net of e-invoicing. And here is something important. If you cross the turnover in current financial year, the e-invoicing will be applicable from next year. And if your business turnover is more than Rs 10 crore, you must report the e-invoicing to IRP within 30 days. Segment 3. Exclusions from e-invoicing. And now the next question. Did everyone need to follow the e-invoicing? So of course not. Everyone is not included. Like every rule, this rule has certain exceptions. Some of these sectors are excluded from e-invoicing, like banks, NBFCs, insurance companies, passenger transporter services, multiplexes and SEZs, and certain government departments. These sectors do not need to follow any e-invoicing rules. Similarly, B2C transactions, delivery challans, bill of supplies, import, and exempted services are out of its scope. So basically, e-invoicing is applicable to B2B supplies and certain documents. Segment 4. What is included in e-invoicing? Now, let's talk about what exactly comes under e-invoicing. Tax invoices, debit notes, and credit notes are covered under e-invoicing. Once created, these documents are need to be reported to Invoice Registration Portal. After validating, the portal will generate the IRN, that is Invoice Reference Number, and a QR code. Only after that, these invoices will become valid in terms of GST law. Segment 5. Timelines and non-compliance. Now let's talk about the timelines and non-compliance. With regard to the timelines, there is a strict timeline. From 1st of April 2025, you need to report your invoice to IRP, that is Invoice Registration Portal, within 30 days of creation of your invoice. If you need to cancel an e-invoice, you can cancel the same only within 24 hours of the generation on Invoice Registration Portal itself. And with regard to the penalties are heavy. Rs 10,000 per invoice, or in some cases 100% of your tax due. And most importantly, if e-invoicing is applicable to you and you generate an invoice without IRN, it is treated as invalid and your buyer cannot claim input tax credit on same. So there is a risk both to supplier and the buyer. Now, as we understood what is e-invoicing, why this is important, and what happens if we do not generate e-invoicing, let's now come to the most important segment. How to generate an e-invoice. You can generate an e-invoice via GST portal. And frankly speaking, that includes manual error. What happens if you have an automation software that will integrate your ERP with your GST IRN portal? Sounds interesting, right? It is a reality of AI and automation era. The software which I use can directly generate e-invoices for me just by a single click. Let's get a quick walkthrough of that. I just need to log in into my software. Here, I found many options in which I have a sales segment. I'll click on the sales segment and then on invoices. After clicking on the invoices, the invoice dashboard will appear. Here, I can create new invoice or just simply select any of the previous invoice which is prepared within last 30 days. So I can generate e-invoice for same. For example, I selected this one. Here, the final invoice will appear before my screen. I just need to click on generate e-invoice. Here, I can update my credentials, API credentials. And I just simply need to click on generate e-invoice. After clicking on generate e-invoice, My e-invoice will be generated along with IRN number and a QR code. So this is how simple is to generate e-invoice if you use a proper automation and accounting software. You do not need to go to the IRP portal every time to generate your e-invoicing. So if you also want to make your e-invoicing stress-free, you can try this software. The software link is given in the description. So to sum it up, e-invoicing is not just any other requirement for GST compliances. It is a safeguard against fraud and a process to streamline transparency in the business. In short, e-invoicing is the future of GST compliances. So this was our discussion on e-invoicing. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this topic, you can let us know in the comments. Thank you.